What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of EvansTalk. I like the shirt.
I think it's fucking fire, bro.
Holla at me.
That thing is sick.
Holla at
Looks
me.
really good.
Yeah, appreciate you, bro. But again, welcome to another episode of EvansTalk. If you haven't done so, please subscribe to my page to help me keep going. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, like I just said, and follow me on my new Instagram, my Evans Acosta for real. So today, this episode, we're gonna be talking about young men growing up, right? How it was for us growing up, the expectation that was given to us growing up by our parents or society, and how do we see ourselves now? Do we carry the same expectations? Do we see that it was fruitful or not fruitful? Whatever. So we're gonna have a good conversation here with my brother here. I'm gonna let him introduce himself, and then we're gonna get started. So what's good, bro?
How you doing, man?
What's up? So introduce yourself to the people, man.
Alright, yo, so my name is Nick Duden. I used to be Evan's roommate back in the day before COVID happened. But I'm a 22-year-old. I lived here in Jersey my entire life. I grew up in a Russian household where the culture was more strict, more lenient, more, loyalty-based and respect-based. So when I get into Russian topics, like how it was for me, there's gonna be some differences, but with everything going on in the world right now with Ukraine and Russia, I know it's a very huge conflict, and as a Russian, I do feel I need to talk about it a little bit and give my perspective on it. Main things first, I don't agree with anything that Putin's doing. I think it is very shameful to what Russians like myself stand for and what we think as Russians and how we hold ourselves as a Russian. I think what's going on today is a very improper display of how Russians really are. I just think it's really cruel what he's doing, and my hearts and my thoughts go to all the families who are being affected by it.
Yeah, so again, welcome to EvansTalk, right? So, and it's crazy you said that because last night I was praying, and I'm like, you know what? Everybody's now so hell-bent on praying for Ukraine, which we should. But what about the people in Russia who don't want no part of this, right? All these sanctions that the whole world government is putting on Russia, so now it's affecting the citizens of Russia who just want to go to school, go to work, party, whatever, and just come home. Now they're being affected. So I'm glad that you actually touched on that, to show your thoughts behind that.
I mean, there's the population of Russia is huge, okay?
Yeah, it's big.
But the people who are fighting against Ukraine, that's the type of Russians that I don't affiliate with.
Yeah.
I just think it's a cruel way to act. I think it's a disgusting way to be treating, especially innocent people. There's no place for that, and when Soviet Russia changed in the 80s, that was supposed to be the change, and it's scary that as a Russian, it almost seems like it's coming back, but I'm telling you, there's a large group of people who live in Russia and who are living outside of Russia who completely condemn and do not approve of what Putin is doing in Russia. It's just bizarre.
So also your family's Russian.
Yes.
And my family's African. I'm African.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to be able to compare similarities of how I was growing up in a Russian home. Mm-hmm. So as a child and as a young man growing up in a Russian home, how was it? Like what is expected of you?
Well, I mean, the first thing that really comes to my mind, like in a Russian household, is respect.
Yeah. You
respect your elders. Anyone who's older than you, I wouldn't say they're like godlike to you, but you hold them to a very high status, whether it be your grandparents, you would hold them even higher, or just anyone who's older than you. You have to be respectful to them. You're not to raise your voice, you're not to argue or talk back. You have to be respectful. If you want to raise your voice, you're just gonna get the belt. That's just how it was. And if you acted up like that, I'll wait for the siren. Wait for the siren.
Yeah, it's gone.
So, you know, if you ever like disobeyed, you know, you would get in trouble. I would constantly have to be taking out the trash or cleaning, you know, doing stuff in the house, doing chores, doing my homework on time, or doing certain things on time. You know, that was.
Were there like any physical punishment?
Well, yeah, I mean, you know, like you like get like you get the whooping.
Yeah,
you get the belt, you get the flip flop, the chancla, you get everything, a rolled up newspaper. Whatever is in sight, bro, you grab it.
Yeah, it's tossing at you.
You know.
Wait, so basically, all this was expected of you, but did you ever feel like you had the chance to express your feelings and what you was going through deep down?
Definitely.
Yeah. So your parents were someone that were people that you can go to and talk to.
Mainly my father at the time.
Okay.
Because it wasn't my father who was hitting me. He never hit me once. He
was
was.
Your mama?
Yeah, it was mainly my mom. Mainly my mom who was behind the scene. But you know, if I ever wanted to talk about like, mom, you know, I tell my dad, and you know, my dad would be like, no, you can't act like that. Like, don't be stupid. You know, you got to be a man. You know, if you're getting hit, you're not gonna cry. You're gonna take it. You know, and that was another big thing. That just like they were shaping me into be a tough man, but who had discipline and who had respect and compassion, and like I had value for things that I knew I shouldn't be like touching, or things I shouldn't be getting myself involved in at that age. And so like as a Russian parent, like I'm like looking back at it now, they kept a very keen eye on how I was being raised. And not to say it was perfect, not to say I was a bad kid and I'm getting hit like every single day, you know. Like, you know, I had my fair share of spanking when I was bad, but most of the time when I was a good kid, you know, it was a pretty like normal life. You know, you just do what you got to do. You deal with the same bullshit that your like moms have, like be home at a certain time. You know, don't be doing this. You be smoking this. Like you're gonna like all this crap. You know, with her thick Russian accent or her talking to me in Russian, screaming at me. But apart from that, you know, it was a pretty like. It was normal, apart from like everything else that happened. You know, there's, you know, everyone has family issues, and you know about that. But we'll probably get into that later. But
so for I would say for an African household, right? We were in some ways it's similar to yours. To what you do the chores, do this and do this and do that. But most African, I would say about a huge 90%. Of African household, us kids, we weren't allowed to express our feelings, or like, I should say this, like we weren't like given the opportunity or the chance to express our feelings, because like we had parents who didn't have that growing up,
right?
So they just grew up.
When you say like express your feelings, like say like, oh, I'm mad at you for this reason to your like your mom.
that's non-existent.
No, that's non-existent.
Yeah, but it's never just that. Like going to them and telling them like, hey, like, you know, I'm feeling depressed.
Oh,
or I'm feeling this and that and that.
I could never.
You could never, right?
No, I could never because, you know, you're being raised in a household. You're meant to be a strong man.
Strong man.
You're meant to be the head of the household for the future. That's what like my parents were really prepping me for.
Yeah. So basically, no time to really get in touch with your feelings. You gotta.
I mean, like if I was sad, like I could say like from wrestling, I was sad from wrestling. I lost my match.
Yeah.
Get your ass back out there and win again.
Yeah.
Or lose again and then win harder next time. Or like get your ass beat and keep getting your ass beat until you fucking learn how to win.
Yeah.
You know, it was like that, and not to say it was like bad, because it was like a push. Was it the right kind of push? Maybe not. Maybe there's other ways to do that. But it all comes down to generational things, you know, with the way I know like how men are supposed to be treated now, or just how men are supposed to be. Like I don't know what that means anymore, because like men don't cry, but you know, I've learned how to shed a tear and, you know, let that frustration out, and then I end up feeling fucking great. I feel amazing. And it's so common for people to say like, you're not supposed to cry. My father would yell at me. Like, he never hit me, but he would yell at me if he saw tears in my... He'd be yelling from the stands. You could hear that one Russian dude, Nick, stop crying, you're not allowed. And then, like, and I wipe my tear, and I'm...
Stop crying.
And I'm back, you know? That's how it was, like, as a kid, you know, growing up, like, I wasn't allowed to show that emotions, but, like, if I wanted to, you know, have, like, a one-on-one convo, yeah, hey, this is how I'm feeling about, like, someone at school or with a girl, you know.
Yeah. With a girl, you can talk to them?
Only my father. Because my father was a freak. Because my father was a freak just like me.
Yeah.
You know, he was a freak just like me. But with my mom, like, she was like, you know, that firm, hard-headed.
Yeah.
You know, my dad was like on the looser side, but, you know, he still had his like core principles and everything like that.
So with all of that going on, right, were there any peer pressure outside her home? You know, in school, in terms of, you know, people peer pressuring you to try new drugs or drink, or, you know, even like lose your virginity, right? Then you lose it. It become like a number game. Like, how many girls can you sleep with? Like, did you experience that?
Yes and no. You know, I had my fair share of, you know, I've been with multiple girls and several different women, and I don't know, I was always in that kind of like area where it was always, you have to respect women, you know. That's like very, very important. Never hit a woman, never touch a woman like that, or always be respectful, consent, and that's been like, the consent part has been a huge thing.
Yeah, it's a huge
now,
part,
and you know, I completely agree with that. I don't know, it was different, because I think I lost my first virginity, like my first virginity.
You lose it twice?
I lost my virginity when I was 16, and then like, I think when I really started like messing around, I was like 18, 19.
Yeah.
I don't know, it was different. Like, I never really thought of it like as a peer influence. Like, I had to do it, you know. I did it because I wanted to, and, you know, I love doing what I do, like with the current girlfriend that I have now.
I mean, I would say for me, right, I was peer pressured to do a lot of things. Because originally for me, I wanted to wait until I was married, right?
I remember you said something.
Yeah, I wanted to wait until I was married, but it's like, so growing up in the neighborhood I grew up in, and the schools that I was going to, it's like, you know, my friends would always make fun of me and laugh at me. Oh, Evans is a virgin. Like, Evans, like, da-da-da, like Evans don't get no B words, whatever, and stuff like that. So, and then it became like, okay, well, I need to show them that I can get girls too. So, like, I showed them I get a girl, like, hey, man, like, I got this girl number, da-da-da-da-da. Okay, but did you have sex with them? No. Ha, 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 he a virgin, he a virgin, he a virgin.
So you kind of felt like almost obligated?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, because like back home in African household, father and mother, those kind of conversations is very non-existent. Like, you feel me? So now I felt obligated. So now I'm getting made fun of that I'm a virgin. I'm getting made fun of that I want to talk to one girl, right? Which that changed based on, you know, behaviors that I've seen with girls. But then it's like, okay, boom. Well, I lost my virginity, guys. Oh, he only had sex with only one girl. Ha 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 ha. I got like 5 bodies on me, and I became the body, and I became like all these number games. And now, like, now that I'm older, and I thought about it, it's like, yo, it really wasn't worth it. And I wish I would have, you know, still firm to what I believed in. But that's just like something that, you know, I feel like a lot of our young men are pushed into, and later on, and it affects them.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I mean, peer influence it's a whole subject on its own, and like, as a boy becoming into a man, you experience that a lot through other people, because other people mature and, you know, hit puberty faster than others. So when you're at a 15-year-old, you know, through 18-year-old brain, your brain's not like ready to make those cognitive
decisions yet.
And so you're so susceptible to peer influence.
Yes.
And I think for me, why I wasn't so susceptible, I like when they brought the Juul, I had a Juul, and then like, when someone offered me weed, like I would smoke. But like when it came to like hard drugs, like I was always no.
Yeah.
But I think that's because of past history in my own family with battling drug addiction. So I think that was one thing. But then also the learning how to say no and just being myself and knowing what I want. I think that was a big thing that I learned at a young age through my parents, actually. Because, and I'm indecisive as hell. Like I can't make it. Like I can't decide where I want to go get food now. But like,
I can't. I'll be hungry.
When it came to like those kinds of things, like making those hard decisions, do you want to get crazy? Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. When it came to making those decisions about like peer influence, you want to try this for the first time. For me, it was just like no. I never wanted to do something I never wanted to get myself into. Or even if I was unsure, I'd just be like no. And when I took that heat, like you're like you're a bitch or you're a baby,
all these
like
names and
all these names, like
shit.
bro, I didn't care because I grew up like playing Xbox and I heard that like all the time.
Yo, Xbox Live, right?
On 1 for 2.
Yo, they're brutal on Xbox Live.
Like none of that shit bothered me, and so like I don't know. I look at it myself now, and like when people try to tell me stuff or like try to judge me or like tell me who I am, like bro, I don't care. Like I'm myself, and I think that's a big thing that men and even young men and boys growing up need to learn, is that just be yourself, because if you're gonna try to be someone else, you're gonna be unhappy for the rest of your life.
Yes. Yeah. So I want to say that let's talk about your father, because you and I spoke about your father many times and how he has a big responsibility on the man that you are today. So let's talk about him and anything else that you want to share about your father.
Well, yeah. So for those who don't know, my father passed February of last year, like literally 1 year ago. And for me, I'm still trying to figure it out, because it's the most complicated relationship and person I've ever talked to. Because not only was he the best father, he was also the worst father.
What do you mean?
So like when it came to what you would expect of a dad, you want to have that guy by your side, that father figure,
son,
that special bond that no one else has. So like we had that bond for, I would say, the first 8 years of my life. Like I could talk to my dad about anything. Like he was my best friend, and like he was Russian and he was a drinker. So like he drank and through time and through like as the world progressed, like his drinking got worse and worse and worse, and that father figure started to go away. So by the time it was between like 8 and 12 years old, I want to say that's when I was becoming from a child to like a slow teenager, and I was very mature already for my age, because I had my mom, listening to fights every day, seeing him drunk every day, and as a 10-year-old kid at that age, it's confusing to see.
Yeah.
As you get older, you start to understand, through talking with your parents and seeing, like being able to develop and understand, like, hey, this is what it is, and this problem is getting worse. So as his drinking got worse, his attitude got worse, and that father figure just kept shrinking and shrinking and shrinking, and it almost became to the point when I was 18 years old, I didn't even know him anymore. It wasn't the same, and by the time I was like 17 through like 19, where I'm kind of becoming my own man.
Yeah.
I mean, I was already my own man, like honestly, when I was like 13, because his drinking was so bad, he was never around.
So he was forced to be.
I was forced, in a sense, to be the man. I was forced to listen to these conversations where, no 8-year-old however, like no kid should have to listen to those conversations, and it puts you in those shoes where it's like, am I gonna sit here and listen to my mom be yelled at him or be yelled by him
Yeah.
when my whole life I was told never to yell at women or hit women.
Yeah.
And so, like I said, my father never swung his fist at anyone, but he was verbal, and the way he talked, he was very manipulative. And it was, like I said, it was the most complicated relationship of my life. And through those late teenage years, and realizing like I need to get my shit together, I need to start becoming the breadwinner. Well, not like the breadwinner, my mom has her job, but like I need to start making money to help my mom. I need to start paying for these medical bills that my father's getting himself into. And as a Russian, family is number one priority.
Are you doing all of this while you're still a student?
And while I was a student, working a almost full-time job, I was working 36 to 38. So just
at that restaurant I came right to.
Yeah, just under full-time, and I'm basically sending 60% of my paycheck to my mom, and she's only keeping 10% for like the bills that she has to pay, and that other 50% was going to like medical bills. And so like all this constant stuff of just being like, you need to do this, if you want like this family to survive, you need to be like that man, and you need to step up, you need to fill those shoes. And what 17-year-old can fit into a size 14 shoe? Like it's unlikely. I was maybe a size 12 in that shoe. I'm trying my best and trying to be the best, I guess, man that I could, not take shit from nobody, keep my feelings to myself, and just, keep hustling, keep grinding, and then, it sucked.
So
it sucked.
So towards the end of your father's life, would you say that he changed, or he regretted his actions, or it was like, well?
I actually ask myself that question almost every other day. Did he want to do this? Like, did he want to drink to oblivion?
Mm-hmm.
Did he really want to act the way he did? Did he want to treat me and my mom the way that he did? And I don't know. I just don't know, because he was a stubborn man. He had his ideals. No matter what, you couldn't change him.
Mm-hmm.
And for the last year of his life, we didn't actually even speak, and we lived in the same house. So we would pass by each other, sometimes not even look at each other, just like sit here and just be like, we'll be having family dinner. He's there, I'm here, and I'm ignoring him. And that would be one of my, I wouldn't say his regret, but my biggest regret, not talking to him, because...
but then again, though, what can you really do if everything that he was doing was pushing you
Exactly.
away?
That's why it's the most complicated relationship, because as a 22-year-old trying to analyze it and just figure it out, it's hard to come up with an answer when, you don't have that person to answer those questions. Like, why did you do that? I have to try to figure it out, and I'm constantly at a battle with myself trying to figure that out, and holding my emotions. And me sitting here and talking to you about it is not something I would typically normally do, but I'm trying to, talk about it as a man, try to get it off my chest, because, that's something that men also need to do. I'm learning how to get stuff off my chest and not suppress emotions.
You and I, upbringing are very similar in the sense of, my father is the same. I don't know where he is now, whatever, but growing up it was like that, right? And just coming home and drunk and just picking fights and just doing this and doing that. And then I remember when I was younger, I would always be scared, because whenever he yelled, in my ears, it sounded like thunder. Like
it's
I was
trigger.
I was always scared. My heart would start beating. Maybe that's why I have anxiety now. My heart would always keep beating, boom, 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 boom. And it's like, okay, now I can't protect my mom because I'm not strong enough. Which led me to, lifting weights and playing football and wrestling, and just getting bigger, So I understand where you're coming from, because it came to a time that, my mom set me down. My mom was like, hey, right now, you are like the man of the house. You are like, you know, my oldest son, cause my older brother was away in Virginia for school. He's like, yo, you like the older brother now. You know, you're like my husband now. So everything that, you know, a teenager didn't have to, you know, handle, I had to do, right? You know, so even up to now, like, you know, certain decisions are not made if I'm not aware of it because of just how long it has been.
Almost like you're almost like the executive decision.
Yeah, you know,
Right.
and it's like, at times, you know, I feel the toll that it can have on me, which I'm sure you can feel that too. But also, I feel like, you know, is gonna only make us better when we get older. You know, and we have our own families to be more responsible and stuff like that. So I'm happy that you really shared that. Again, guys, this is EvansTalk. These are some of the things that young men go through. And I'm sure young women go through this kind of stuff too, which, you know, I will have another segment on that topic, but today I want to touch base on young men and the things that, you know, we go through growing up, how it triggers us, how our mindset is now based on things that happen to us. So again, I thank you guys for tuning in. If you made this far in the video, if you have made it this far in the video, God bless you. Sorry for all the sirens in the background. I live in the hood. But thank you if you made it this far. Also, Nick, I appreciate your boy for coming to helping me out. And again, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I'll leave his IG in the description below. And again, thank you. God bless you. EvansTalk, baby.
Peace out, y'all.